Hello, everyone. Hi, guys. Do you know that as a dad, your kids don't need a perfect dad? Yes, that might sound surprising, right? Most people want to be a perfect dad. You are the provider, the protector, you are the guardian, you do everything perfectly. But in most cases, you are not available. You are within reach, but you are not present. That's a topic that we want to discuss today, that you don't have to show up being perfect, but being felt. If you are around, you are around. And as usual, I'm very honored to have with me Ben.
Thank you so much, Jim, for having me. And it's always a pleasure being in the studio with you. To all our viewers, I want to say welcome back to Lens Helps. Now, as you all know, this space is where we bring real, honest conversation about fatherhood, family, and life as truly is. Now, to everyone watching across all social media platforms, we do appreciate you. And most especially, shout out goes to all the YouTube family. Thank you for always joining up, engaging with us, and growing with us. As Jim chose have said today, kids don't need a perfect dad. They need a system. Let me just quickly chip in something here. Now, because many of us grew up thinking that we had to get everything right as fathers, but the truth is, children need is not perfection, it's just our present. But today, we're going to break it down. What does it really look like in everyday's life? Let's get with the first question.
Yeah, present and perfect, which is better?
Hmm.
Being a perfect dad that comes and making sure is doing everything in the right way, or being available. If you are with your kid for 2 minutes, for 1 hour, for a whole day, the timing is good, but it's more important is of this time, how much of it did you engage? There's an African adage that said, a child who is carried on the back does not know how far the journey is. Many fathers today are doing everything, providing, as I said earlier, protecting, showing up physically. But here is the truth. You can be there, but still not present. That is what we'll be talking about today. Present and perfect. When you are here, you are a perfect dad, right? What does that really mean, that
Hmm.
being present and being perfect? If you're talking about that, what is the difference? Just using illustration to you.
Okay, so let me quickly say this now. When we hear perfect that, what does it even mean, right? Okay, so I'm going to start with this now. Most people imagine someone who have never made mistakes, right? Always calm, always in control. But that kind of father doesn't exist in talks. It doesn't exist. He will never make mistake. He was always calm and always in control. See, life is in stages. We've seen our dads. It's the way it plays out. We call them gentlemen. But when it comes for them to really deal with to deal with their kids, they will. And that tragedy has been passed over the years. There's never a calm parent. There's never a, a parent that is always in control. Now, a perfect dad is about image. It is what we see as an image. Now, a present dad, it's about connection. So depending on how you want to choose your own flaws or your own path is up to you. But the truth is this, present dad is one of the most fixable ways for you to connect with your children. They don't expect you to be perfect, but be present at every point of their life. It's what make their memory, last long. So I want to tell you a story a little. Now, a child makes a mistake. Now, a perfect dad says the right word, but says this that. Make the mistake and said, don't worry, you're not going to make it again. And then forget about it and emotion. Now, the present dad might not react perfectly, but later comes back, sit with the child and reconnect. That second moment is what it states, meaning that you are there. You encouraging, you connect with whom you correcting, and you let them see that this is why you still do this. This is why you should not do this. It has repercussion and all. So make sure I'm going to borrow a proverb that says, a child remember the warmth, not the perfection. A child will ever remember how my dad treats me, how my parents treat me, how my mother treats me. They will not remember about every other thing. So your child doesn't need a flawless father. For me, they need someone who shows up again and again and again. What's your own opinion about it?
Yeah, that's a point of view. You're looking at it from the vantage position of a child. I will look at it from the position of a dad. You know,
Hmm.
typically, and I might use myself as an example. Typically, a dad wants to show up as being perfect in the presence of their children, like the best student in school.
Right.
I had all A's, I'm well spoken of, and you're unnecessarily putting unrealistic pressure on your child that your child has to be without spot or blemish. But being present also involve, if you're a present dad, not a perfect dad, what it also involves is your child. I'm talking about dad now, not the children. Your child will see you and see your flaws. He or she will see you and see you goof. He or she will see you after you've preached a billion times that driving past the red light is not good. And one of those days that you couldn't just catch up, you knew that the light here really don't send ticket home. You zoom past the red light. That is you being present, but your kids are seeing you as human. I'm trying to view it from a total, because to be candid also, I'm actually speaking from the mind, because I'm trying to view it from a point of view of a dad, not presenting himself as a well-suited, tied, no blemish, no fault, and the child is trying to emulate that. Don't forget that children emulate what they see, feel, and relate it, which is their dad. But the fact that we are dad, that our kids see as their first role model, does not mean that we are always perfect. And some parents will choose to stay away, not being present, until they can come into their perfect form, so that their children will only see them as being perfect. I think that's a wrong mindset. You
Hmm.
are supposed to live when you are 40, let your child see that. But the most important part of it is that your child seeing you making mistake, being courageous to say, I made a mistake, and correcting that, and your child seeing that in real life, I think is more tangible than being absent. So what am I saying? Being a present dad is a dad that is not flawless, but is a dad that when you are available as a human. When you made mistake, your child seizes those mistakes, but because you know that somebody is modeling after you, you are courageous enough to say, I made a mistake and I'm fixing it. I drove past red light. This is wrong. I will not do that again. Your child sees that. That is important. The child see the human, not the bot.
Correct.
Because you can choose to be a perfect dad and be a bot that said if then, but as a human, we have places that we made a mistake. So that's the point
Yes.
of view I'm trying to look at it from.
Hmm. Okay. Okay.
What do kid actually remember about their parent being perfect or being present?
For me, I will say one thing, which is now, if we pause right now and think about our childhood, what do we actually remember, right? Now, we might not remember all the bills that was paid during that particular period.
Thank
Maybe
you. Yeah.
we will not remember. We don't remember how every material thing, went through that particular period. But one thing we remember are moments, how we felt, how they were treated, and how we were seen. Those are the times that matters, right? Now, which is to say that you might forget the gift your father has brought you. You might forget, right? But you won't forget the day he showed up for you when it matters, right? Or the day he listened when no one else did. These are some of the things we will carry along as you journey in life. I remember one of my, neighbor when I was growing up. That man was kind of like was okay, but not to the extent that the wife was, talked there in terms of, earning salary and doing okay, right? But one thing about this man is this: for all he was always available for the PTA, taking them to school and all. I'm telling you today, those kids love their father, mother. Yeah. I'm not trying to say any father and mother is doing But these are things that, when I asked about them, I will now keep them. You remember that almost comes PT and all these are things I remember. And that's why, there's always an hate, but I'm not trying to say maybe father is better than a mother. The one that a mother does is huge in the life of children, right? But once thing is starting, we have a responsibility as a father to ensure that what we implant to our kids are not material things, are not things that we just give back, just give them and let them go. But it's a moment when we are always there for them at every stage. Now, memories are brought, they're not built. Children don't store record of provisions, they store memories of connections. What about yourself?
Yeah, well structured memories. For me, for example, I can relate with, there's one of the moment that my dad was having a challenge to pay the school fees of myself and my immediate younger sister. And I could remember him coming down to explain to us that I only have money school fees now for one of you. I don't know how to go about I don't know
Mm,
whose school fees I'm going to pay. Don't feel that you are less human if I did not, don't feel I
mm,
dislike you if I did not pay your own school fees because I've not decided which school fees I'm paying. Don't feel I don't like you or I
mm,
like that fellow more than you.
mm,
And I remember him paying one of our school fees, but because he paid one of our school fees, he was also able to plead with the school for an extension for the second, so
mm,
that at the end of the day, we both were not sent home from school.
mm, 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 mm,
That level of understanding, that level of awareness that as a child, we should not feel that he doesn't love us. Typically he can come down and say, hey, I only have one of your school fees I'm going to pay. The next one I'm going to pay next week.
sure,
It's the same. It is the same communication.
sure,
It's the same. There's nothing changed. He's still going to pay one this week, maybe one next month. But he was able to come and explain to us. That actually stick with me. That this is an example of what I can easily remember from him being
mm,
somebody that can come down to our level and explain situations to us. Both school fees were paid. None of us were sent back from school. We both attended. We both graduated. We both
mm,
are in different
mm,
spaces.
mm,
But I can remember.
mm,
If you ask me how much was the money, I don't know the value. Well, did I remember that conversation? Yes.
mm.
Those are memories that we create with our kids. How long did this stay with us? It's not that it stayed with us and then, but the few times he stayed, he had conversations that are deep and memorable. So as fathers, one of the things that we should do is being able to, whenever we are present, even if it's for 5 minutes, let us be present. For example, if your child is playing a game, I know I didn't grow up in a family where I'll be playing a game and my dad will come have a conversation with me. That's
Mm.
big lie.
Yes, yeah.
But no, these are part of the things that happen now. They say, come and play game with me, daddy, and you come and play game with them. So, but if you are with them for those 5 minutes, they
Mm,
engage them, ask questions, let them know that you are available for conversation. And when you are not available, my kid might can come to you and say, hey, give me 30 minutes.
mm,
It's not that you're a bad dad. That 30 minutes is a time I need to do on some I have deliverables that I need to focus on. So I need that 30 minutes or I need those 3 hours. But afterwards, I'll come back to you for 30
mm.
minutes and we'll have conversation. I will take a long walk. I will play
Yeah.
game. I will play basketball. I will run around the estate or we'll ride a bicycle. You understand? So it's not how long you stay with your children that matters. What matters is all that time, because you can be with your children and you are on your phone watching whatever is going on online, but
Sure.
you are not available.
Correct.
You understand? So, but it's better off being there for just 30 minutes, and the 30 minutes is conversational.
Is
Yeah.
what the one.
So
Correct.
let's talk about distraction and modern fatherhood. Do
Mm.
you think today's father are physically present but mentally somewhere else?
Well, honestly, the world keeps evolving I have to be very frank with you. And we live in a distracted world now where, like you said, you have your phones, you have work, right? Stress is part of them. Pressure is part of them in this kind of world we live in. And many fathers are in the room, but not really present, like you said. Can we blame them? Is the kind of, the generation or the period where we find ourselves. Now, the danger is children can feel that difference. In a situation whereby now children these days, once you give them a phone or an iPad, they're in another world entirely. You see children, singing some songs at times. You'll be wondering how. Even your papa, he don't know about that song. How did you know about it? And you keep wondering. At times, we'll be going to church, right? And they'll be singing some higher set up back. We are going to church now. Why are you singing this kind of song? Where did you learn all this kind of song? Yeah? So see, the truth is this. It's glaring. We live in a just age where we as a parent need to, one way or the other, find ways, right? To be able to, not to be distracted, about what is really happening in terms of our work, stress. It's part of life, right? But it is very, very important for us to be able to, set some time, like you said, for these kids. Now, a child comes excited to show a dad something. The dad responds without looking. That's nice. What does that portray? Your mind wasn't in it. The child slowly walked away, right? And again, to the father, it was not to the child. It means everything. So what are you trying to pass across? So where your attention goes, that is where your love is felt. We need to be very clever as a father in terms of that regard. We brought them to this world. We have the responsibility of guiding them. I know to some certain stage, they will decide that it's time for me to start my own family. Regardless, you just have to give them that attention. For instance, it's not about being, nearby. It's about being engaged. So if you have that mindset and have that, that knowledge, I believe that, even with how busy things are, honestly, we can still create time without being distracted because as a father, as a family, this kid needs all our attention. What about your side?
I will start with a story. I think my kids have they don't know if I'm present but not available. They know one of the way they say use your word, daddy. So if they ask you question, what they say, I'll say as you okay. When I'm using one word, the next you say use your word, use your word, use your word. So
Mhm.
they are so smart that one of the things that we uh, forget easily is that these kids nowadays are so vocal and so smart.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, that they can easily tell you that oh no that's
Sure,
wrong. They debate. I have tons of
sure,
debates with my kids.
sure, sure,
I'm sure sometimes we even have panels. One of them will be the judge, and we'll just sit down and debate our points, and until nobody wins or everybody wins, or I win or they win. You could go either way.
Oh, yeah.
Why am I saying this? They know if they ask you what color of t-shirt is this, purple. You are not even looking. So it's very important that whenever we're with them, if it's 5 minutes, if it's 10 minutes, we should engage. And how do you engage? Ask question,
Yeah,
make it back and forth. Use those pivotal moments as an opportunity to know them more. Because that is simple. As your child is growing, if you don't converse with them, you people will start growing. You can be growing, then you start growing apart because you cannot relate to it. You're so sucked in the day-to-day activities
yeah.
that you are not engaging.
Correct.
And it's possible because we have so much, we want to become billionaires and millionaires, and we have those financial targets. But in the midst of that, in the midst of those targets, I remember excuse me, there's one guy that we interviewed for a position, and I actually like his answers. I think one of the question was why do you work? I
Oh,
think if I can remember that question very well. But the answer is um he answered by telling us that he's family oriented, he loves his family, he loves his children, take care of them. That's all where his mind is. But he understands perfectly that he cannot provide for his kids, his family, give them comfort, the desired life that he wants them to be without having a work that he loves, So that this work that he loves help him to power him with the resources to be able to provide the kind of
Correct.
lifestyle and support for his family. You
Correct.
can see when you have somebody communicating that, we can tell you this
Mm.
person is actually in this
Yeah.
position
True.
for a long time,
True.
because he is not like, hey, I'm just here for the fly, and
True.
whatever be, let it be. So
True.
why am I saying this? I'm saying this because whenever you are with your children, try as much as possible to avoid distraction. Close the phone.
Mm.
Yeah, because you can sometimes, and that's one of the problem I'm having, and I'm trying to like get away from it. Sometimes after working very, very tired for the whole day, I will just want to lock myself in a room for 1 or 2 hours to sleep. Funny enough, sometimes I know even sleep. I just go on social media and be scrolling, and they will be knocking. I was like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. Rather than scrolling on social media, I'll just keep the phone, try and take a nap for some few minutes, come back
Mm.
energized and come and have conversation. I do not
Mm.
say I do it every day, because
Yeah.
that's what I'm going to tell you here. But I'm making a conscious effort
Yeah.
to put
Appreciate
it
it.
in my routine. Any day I do not do it, I don't kill myself. I just tell
True.
myself that I'm going to do it the next time, and I try to do it the next time. Any day I try to catch myself. I think that's the word. I
Mm.
try to catch myself that, oh, I'm with this kid. I'm really watching something else on social
Mm.
media. I catch
Mm.
myself, and whenever I give those one word answer that yes, and they say you're not even watching, I see those as opportunity to catch myself, drop the phone, and engage, because that's what they're going to remember.
Thanks.
It's not the
That's what.
color of shirts you buy for them, not
Yes.
the, it's not the car ride that or the places they could remember all those stuff, but those mini conversations that can say, oh, if my dad was here, this is how he would think, because our kids model after us. Okay, we're gonna take the last one. Final advice for dad on how to be present in the moment with their children.
Okay. Well, the truth is honestly, it's not about, grand gesture at the end of the day, right? It's not about having all the time in the world. It's about small intentional moments done consistently. You've explained that you have to be intentional, right? You have to be consistent, right? And you have to be in that moment with them. No matter the period, they come to you. I know at times we are consumed with work, but it's very important to tell them that, hey kids, I'm busy now, but give me the next 1 hour, give me the next 2 hours, give me the next 30 minutes. You have to be there in that moment. These are things that they will remember you for. They found out that besides that every evening, even if it's just for 10 to 15 minutes, like, they give the full attention. No phones, no distraction. They talk, they laugh and connect. Yesterday, the child said, that's my favorite part of life. That is the kind of story you have to, you want your kids to tell you. Now, I will always say, little drop of water makes a mighty ocean. Like I said, if it's just for 10 to 15 minutes every day, be very, be intentional. Most of the time when my kids come back from school, I always tell all the weekend, hey, come, how was school today? What happened in school? I always ask each one of them every day. And again, sometimes, you might be concerned. Maybe you've gone to work before you come back, it's late already and all, but you have to, ensure that you try to engage them. But on the weekend, maybe you want to go out and do stuff, and born, take a walk, and these are part of the things that you consistently. So at the end of the day, you don't need more time. You need more intention with the time that we already have as a father. It's up to us to use it wisely. What about yourself, Victor?
Yeah, I absolutely agree with what you said. I'll just put it in another word that you don't necessarily okay, let me just even talk about what just happened before I came to the studio here.
Mm,
We
mm,
had yard work to do. We have our lawn that we need to take care of. So what did I do? Brought out the lawn mowing machine, give it to every one of them, and we're mowing the lawn and we're having conversation. And so one of them will say, "Oh, last year, because it's the time of the year again, they take care of your
mm.
yeah." One of them will say, "Oh, I was the one who trimmed this flower last year." So those are moments for conversation. It's very important to converse. Another thing is, whenever you're conversing, just like I say, whenever I give a monosyllabic response, they say you're not listening. Whenever your child is giving monosyllabic response, then they are not talking to you. Yeah. Being present is conversational. How was school today? Fine. What did you do? Was school for today? Yes.
No,
But
no,
that's not me.
no,
What
that's not
did
it.
you do?
What
Tell
happened?
me.
Make it logical and clear
Yeah.
so that I'm able to interact and all.
What did
That's actually.
exactly? What did you do? Oh, okay. We went to this class. This is a story. In short, I like this line of the story. Yes. Then we start conversing. So it's very important when conversing. You shouldn't be giving monosyllabic response. Neither should you accept monosyllabic response. Make it conversational. There should be a story. This is what happened. And bet you these kids know how to tell story.
And I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, they know how to tell story. That sometimes we'll be driving for 30 minutes and I'll just need to just ask one question and they will talk all through the journey. Just don't stop them. Let them talk about it. It's very important. And those are also very important moments to chip in wisdom. It's not necessary until your child does something bad that you tell you, yeah, kneel down, raise up your hand. These 5 things you will not do. Repeat after me. No. Yeah. Those conversational moments, you say, oh, she did it like this. Oh, she could have done it like this. Why don't you do it like this? Those moments matters. It helps the child. It helps you too as a parent. Do you have last word before I give a last
Oh
word?
yes, oh yes. I just wanted to say that on a final note, now a child may outgrow your hand, but they will never outgrow your presence. Now, perfection creates pressure, presence creates connection, and in the end, our child won't remember how perfect we are, but they remember anytime we're always there with them. Now, again, this is Lens House. Thank you everyone for watching all over the platform. Again, Mr. Especially Alicia family. It's been a pleasure being at the studio with you, Jim Chose, today. I believe that we're going to continue with this trend again next week, hopefully. I did twice. I leave it like that.
Yeah, that's actually a good sign out, and I'm tempted not to give my own sign out. But either way,
Yeah, please do. Please do.
let me give this sign out. At the end of the day, your kids don't need a perfect father. They need a father who is there, who listen, who is fully present in the moment. Because one day they won't remember how hard you worked. They will remember how you made them feel. Like we say in African adage, character is wealth. You cannot steal it. So maybe the goal is not perfection, but presence. This is Lens House Studio. Like,
Signing out.
share, and subscribe. See you next week, guys.
Sorry.